Hello, my name is Shion Akinlua. I'll be talking about another episode of Migration series today titled Have You Counted the Cost? Part 2. Let's journey in this series together so that we can learn one or two things. Thank you. So a lot of people, when you ask them the reason they want to migrate, they say it's because school fees is free. I've read a lot of people say this countless times. They say, oh, school fees is free. But the truth in life is that nothing is ever free. There are things that are free. That's the truth. But what I mean is, in certain countries of the world, really, if you want free things, there are free things. If you want free education, there's free education. If you want private education, there are also private education. So it's not all schools that are free. And why am I saying this? Sometimes people, take their children out of good schools and say, oh, because schools abroad are free, so they want their children to go abroad so that they can benefit. If you think, the school that your children are going to, if you think the schools are good, why not let them finish and, let them continue, let them finish. But then if you want to take them abroad, if you think you can afford private school, then that's fine. It's okay based on what you want, if that's what you want. So let's talk about, there's another thing that, long time ago, that was the in thing, maybe in the university, you just see that, oh, some students are not, have not resumed, and you wonder where they are. Before you know it, you hear that they've gone abroad. You can't just take your child out of school. For example, let's say the child is in second year or third year and the child is doing what he or she wants. Please note that phrase, he or she wants. You can't just take that child from that school, pulling that child out to say, oh, just go abroad. Because sometimes people do this because sometimes they hear that there are scholarships and their child has been able to get a particular form of scholarship or other. But I would just say that before you withdraw your child from that school he or she is going to, why not find out about the scholarship your child is entitled to? For example, there are some scholarships that is just only tuition fee that it covers, whereas some scholarships may cover everything. So which one do you have? Is it the scholarship that covers only school fees? If it's that kind of scholarship that covers only school fees, know that your child will need accommodation fee, will need to pay some other fees, feeding fees. Are you able to provide that for the child? I know that some people will say, oh, that child will get work, job when he or she gets abroad. But there are times you have to think about that child settling first. Sometimes when people get this kind of offer and the children go for this kind of offers, the first thing they battle with is money, fees, to even be able to sustain themselves. School fees at that point, because scholarship has taken care of it, is not a problem. But what about the accommodation fee? What about the feeding fee? Are you as parent, or would you as parent be able to give your child all that he or she needs? So be careful. Don't just, pull that child out immediately. Think, prepare, and plan. Also, when it comes to migration, if, for example, let's say, for example, couples, let's say the wife is the doctor and she has been able to get a job abroad. One, if everything is fine in the relationship, yes, the wife needs to consider her husband. What becomes of her husband in the next few years? How would he be able to cope? And let's say, for instance, again, a woman is doing well in her job, in her career, and her husband is not really meeting up, and he just feels, oh, my wife resign all this job, let's just go abroad so that we can make it better, or so that we can make it. Sometimes some of these issues, comes out of the fact that maybe the man in question is not really making it, and the wife is being blessed. She's fine. Things are sorted out. But then because he really wants to do something like, earn his own big money as well, he may just say, oh, my wife, I don't care about that job. Let's go, let's go. And you know that your wife's money belongs to you as well. Yeah, things are fine. Just the fact that you just want to get something of your own. Yeah, there's nothing bad in that. But then sometimes all of this decision makings comes with a price, because your wife, who is being blessed, automatically will have to start from the scratch. You also have to start from the scratch, and it may take many years. A lot of people don't think about the years, that all of this would have to, they don't have to, a lot of people don't think about the years that they have to work at to still get to a particular point when they migrate. So this point are still some of the things that needs to be considered as it regards to migration. Or if, for example, you are the man, you are the doctor, and your wife is not a doctor, you know that you have chances of, aspiring high, you have chances of getting job. What about your wife? A lot of people don't think about the other person when it comes to migration. I don't mean that, but what I'm trying to say is that you just think, so far one person is able to get a good job, everything will be fine. But on the long run, one person might become depressed because the other person is advancing and the other person seems not to be advancing. So these are some of the realities that married couples need to need to tell themselves. They need to talk to one another. They just need to view all those things. What if is the woman that has come abroad? What happens to that man? His ego begins to diminish because he feels he's not able to provide as he used to provide. And now the woman is earning money. And then he will now feel that, oh, is it because you are the one paying bills now? Or is it because you are the one, that has gotten a job, a good job? Are you thinking about my own progress? And many times, sometimes, couples are being pressured into all of this migration thing without really thinking about the effect on them, either positive or negative effect. Don't be in a hurry. Look at your own circumstance. Look at your wife's circumstance. Ensure that both of you are balanced in what you want, in what you need, as to why you want to migrate. And this will go a long way in making the home balance. At the end of it all, balance is everything. It's not about migration really, it's about balance. I tell people, location does not change somebody's mindset or people's mindset. Rather, what changes people's mindset is the intentionality they carry or they have. I remember the friend said to me a few years ago, she said, your mindset has not changed. Location did not even change it. So in life, when it comes to things of life, it's not really, location helps sometimes and it may not at other point in time. But really, it's a change in mind, it's a change in perspective that changes people, not necessarily a change in location. So how intentional are you about your life? How intentional are you about your spouse? Stay blessed. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, this is not about whether you should travel or whether you should not, but rather it's about viewing things and knowing fully well things that can happen when decisions are not made properly, when choices are not made properly. Thank you. Stay blessed. Thank you.